Hey guys, how's it going? So for this video, I want to take an in-depth look at the potential way that the Breaking Bad main character Hank Schrader could theoretically appear in the plot of Season 5 of Better Call Saul by discussing and analyzing the dialogue and backstory regarding his character that was displayed to us in the plot of Breaking Bad.
My name is Hank Schrader.
Okay, so while Hank Schrader has not yet officially appeared on screen in the plot of Better Call Saul as of the show's 5th season, which will premiere later this year, there has nonetheless been some speculation that Hank Schrader's voice has actually already appeared in the plot of Better Call Saul during the show's 3rd season in the episode entitled Sabrosito. Now, while Dean Norris, the actor who portrayed Hank Schrader in the plot of Breaking Bad, was not officially credited in this episode, if we nonetheless listen very closely, we can hear a voice of one of the DEA agents who is taking part in the raid of Hector Salamanca's ice cream shop in this episode that does seem to resemble the voice of DEA agent Hank Schrader. Now, while of course, as stated previously, due to the fact that Dean Norris was not officially credited in this episode, the voice in this scene that resembles the voice of his character, in addition to what appears to be an out-of-focus image of his character, cannot officially be confirmed to be the voice and/or image of DEA agent Hank Schrader. However, that being said, regardless of whether or not you think that this was actually the voice and/or image of Hank Schrader in this scene, in my opinion, the more pertinent and intriguing question regarding the subject matter seems to be, why did the creators choose to not definitively have Hank Schrader appear during the scene of the DEA raiding Hector Salamanca's ice cream shop in the 3rd season of Better Call Saul? Because in my opinion, on the surface, this seemed like a perfectly ideal scene which could have, in an ostensibly organic and unforced way, introduced Hank Schrader's character into the plot of Better Call Saul as part of the storyline of Mike sabotaging Hector's drug distribution chain in the previous episode. Then, to go even a step further than that, based on everything that was presented to us about Hank Schrader's character in the plot of Breaking Bad, it would also seem to make perfect sense that Hank was working as a DEA field agent in Albuquerque at the exact point in the Better Call Saul timeline where this scene took place, and would thus have taken part in this DEA raid. However, all of that notwithstanding, while this is of course only rampant speculation, I think that the main reason why the Breaking Bad main character Hank Schrader, or for that matter even his partner, the supporting Breaking Bad character Steve Gomez, did not appear during this DEA raid scene in the plot of Season 3 of Better Call Saul in the episode entitled Sabrosito was due to the fact that the creators may have felt that the appearance of a main and or even supporting character from the plot of Breaking Bad would have likely overshadowed all of the various compelling storylines that were taking place during this scene, and would have instead made this scene more focused on the appearance of what would have arguably been, in regards to Hank Schrader, the most significant and consequential character from the plot of Breaking Bad to appear in the plot of Better Call Saul at the time of the original airing of this episode. And so, with all of these plot details as well as conjecture about this scene now being taken into account, while it is clear that Hank Schrader could have, really at any point in time, been seamlessly introduced into the plot of Better Call Saul via really any storyline dealing with the DEA notwithstanding, based on this decision by the creators in Season 3 of Better Call Saul to not have Hank Schrader definitively appear in this scene, it seems to me that the creators appear to be saving the first appearance of Hank Schrader in the plot of Better Call Saul for a much more consequential storyline that actually centers around his character, instead of just first introducing him in a brush-by sort of cameo like the aforementioned DEA raid scene, where his appearance would have not greatly impacted the scene which he appeared in. So, with this premise in mind, as we now head into Season 5 of Better Call Saul later this year, there does seem to be a fairly consequential piece of Hank Schrader's backstory from the plot of Breaking Bad that was displayed to us via a piece of Hank Schrader's dialogue, which from my point of view, based on the aforementioned literary criteria, seems to be a very possible way by which Hank Schrader could be introduced by the creators into the plot of Better Call Saul in Season 5. This piece of dialogue I am referring to concerning Hank Schrader's backstory took place in Season 1 of Breaking Bad in the cold opening scene of the episode entitled Cancer Man during a scene of a DEA meeting, which was being led by Hank Schrader, where we can hear him state a piece of dialogue on the subject of his personal history with the Breaking Bad character Crazy 8.
Say hello to Domingo Gallardo Molina, aka Crazy 8. Way smarter than your average cheese eater. I turned him out when he was street level, but this dude's like the Jeffersons, moving on up.
Every small-time dealer he'd throw at us, he'd end up snaking all their customers.
Now it turns out that he's missing, presumed dead. Found his car out in the boonies. Last guy he ratted out was none other than his cousin, Emilio Koyama.
You thinking the cousin found out and took revenge?
Could be. Turns out he's missing too.
Now, as we can clearly comprehend from the dialogue of Hank Schrader as well as Steve Gomez in this scene, it appears that prior to Crazy 8's death in the previous episode of Season 1 of Breaking Bad, in the episode entitled And the Bags in the River, he had been some type of informant to the DEA who would rat out all of his competitors and then take all of their customers once arrested, and also personally had at least one previous encounter with DEA agent Hank Schrader. So with these plot details in mind, due to the fact that Crazy 8 was already introduced into the plot of Better Call Saul in Season 2, in the episode entitled Gloves Off, and as of the conclusion of Season 4 of Better Call Saul, he still appears to be a street-level dealer for the cartel, I think that this piece of Hank Schrader's dialogue where he is discussing his own personal run-in with Crazy 8 as a street-level dealer seems to be exactly the ideal type of literary vessel by which the creators of Better Call Saul would want to use in order to introduce Hank Schrader into the plot of Better Call Saul next season, that would thus also seemingly make his appearance an integral component of the storyline which he appears in, instead of just being a secondary background character a la the DEA raid scene. Furthermore, that being said, also due to the fact that as perceptive fans of Breaking Bad are surely aware, there are still a fairly large number of open-ended components and potential plot holes regarding Crazy 8's backstory from the plot of Breaking Bad that have not yet been clearly defined in the plot of Better Call Saul, including the question of how did Crazy 8 appear to become an independent distributor in the plot of Season 1 of Breaking Bad, despite his direct connection to the cartel, which we learned about in the plot of Season 2 of Better Call Saul, in addition to the fact that Juan Bolsa himself stated in Season 3 of Breaking Bad in the episode entitled I See You that Gus Fring going out and doing business on his own would not get the blessing from the cartel.
Yes? Juan?
I assume you heard the news.
Your man died. I heard. It's unfortunate.
Yeah, unfortunate. And meanwhile, I have federales surrounding my house. You know what I think, Gustavo? I think you're behind all this.
Why would I do this? How would it serve me?
That's the part I'm trying to figure out. Go off on your own, maybe? Would you actually think that would work?
Moreover, also continuing along this same line of questioning, on top of all of this, to go even a step further, we also seem to be presented with the even more pressing question of how did Crazy 8, who was a direct subordinate of Tuco Salamanca, which was displayed to us in the plot of Season 2 of Better Call Saul, manage to become an independent distributor despite this direct cartel connection, when at the same time we know from the plot of Season 1 of Breaking Bad, in the episode entitled Crazy Handful of Nothing, that Tuco had been out of jail for 1 entire year, according to the dialogue of Skinny Pete, and would thus have directly coincided with Crazy 8's venture as an independent distributor in the plot of Breaking Bad.
Tuco, what's happening, my brother? Sick crib, yo. You've been keeping it real since you've been sprung. What's it been, like a year?
And thus, as a member of the Salamanca family, would clearly have superseded Crazy 8 in the chain of command in the cartel. And so, with all of these questions regarding this backstory in mind, I think we can infer that the context surrounding Hank Schrader's aforementioned dialogue involving his own relationship with Crazy 8 would also definitely give the creators the ability to clear up these apparent discrepancies surrounding the storyline via a plot of this nature moving forward in Season 5 of Better Call Saul. And so, at the end of the day, now with all of this information from the plot of Breaking Bad and from the plot of Better Call Saul surrounding the storyline being taken into consideration, in my opinion, due to the obvious apparent desire by the creators to organically incorporate as many of the characters and as many of the intricate details from the plot of Breaking Bad into the plot of Better Call Saul as naturally possible, including dialogue such as that from none other than Hank Schrader himself, i.e., his Dog Paulson reference,
Our connect was a guy called Dog Paulson,
which I discussed in a previous video that I will link in the description. This aforementioned piece of Hank Schrader's dialogue from the plot of Season 1 of Breaking Bad, dealing with his own personal relationship with the already revived Breaking Bad character Crazy 8, seems to be the exact literary vessel which the creators of Better Call Saul have been waiting to use in order to introduce his character into the plot of Better Call Saul for the very first time next season. Alright guys, thank you so much for watching this video. If you enjoyed this video and also want to see additional videos where I discuss and analyze the plot of the upcoming 5th season of Better Call Saul, then definitely make sure you check out some of the other videos about the 5th season of Better Call Saul on my channel, and definitely make sure you subscribe to my channel so you don't miss any new videos leading up to the highly anticipated premiere of Season 5 of Better Call Saul. As always, my name is Anton Jackson. Thanks again for watching.